What's going on, Ron?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. You ready to get this thing started?
Yeah, man.
All right. What's good, everybody? It's Jonathan. Welcome to the latest Bigbabyjonathan Sports Podcast Show. On the line right now, I got Ron Agers, writer for espn, Lakers Show Life. How's it going, Ron?
Doing okay, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Obviously, it's Lakers season around the corner. So give us your expectations for the Lakers season.
Obviously, it's not going to be what Vegas says. It's going to be a little bit more from what espn.com, the projections that they had. Vegas has the Lakers winning the title. They're odds-on favorites to win over anybody else in the NBA. ESPN.com has them fifth in the West. And I think it's a little bit more like that because this is a new team, new coaching staff. Everybody has to get themselves together. LeBron James is coming off an injury. Same thing with Anthony Davis with his knick-knack injuries last year. There's just too many questions right now. We don't know the defensive strategies. There's no offensive system that we know about yet. Boogie Cousins going down. There's just too many questions going on right now. I think that we need to really temper expectations of just thinking that, hey, we're going to roll the ball out. LeBron James and Anthony Davis is going to lead us because after you have Anthony Davis, you have LeBron James, you got those two. Kyle Kuzma will be coming in. They're counting on him to be the third guy, but you got to think of something right here. He's going to be playing in the World Championships, and that's wear and tear on the body. And you're talking about going into a season that everybody expects you to go to June. He's going to be a question mark as well. So I think everybody needs to really just sit back. Let's see what happens over the first 20 to 25 games before we really know what this team is like.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Ron, because as the NBA, all these ESPN people that are putting out like records of what predictions and stuff. Like for me, I had the Lakers win a championship this year against the Boston Celtics. But I could say that every day. Lakers gonna win. They have to go prove it. They gotta put in the work and prove it. You know what I mean? To understand where you're coming from to that extent. Talking about.
And also, we need to understand something else too. The way we have to see how not only the players and themselves. We're talking about the coaching staff. There's been some question marks with Frank Vogel being the third choice when Ty Lue ended up passing on the job when they offered him only a 3-year deal. Monty Williams turns down the job as well. He tends up to be the third choice. He may be the right choice. You know something? Who knows? But bringing in Jason Kidd with his history, Lionel Hollins. The coaching staff has some questions, but I think they really clean things up a little bit better, bringing in Phil Handy. Phil Handy is an outstanding assistant coach. He's supposed to be the lead assistant. I think he's somebody that LeBron James feels comfortable with. He can hold LeBron James accountable. Lionel Hollins is old school as well. I got a feeling that with those two guys, if they can circle the wagons with Frank Vogel, and if Jason Kidd can buy in and not get power hungry. You got to remember he did it in Brooklyn. He did the same thing in Milwaukee. He has a history of falling out of favor with franchises. If we can get to the point that the Lakers coaching staff can come together, get a system, and hold those stars and veterans accountable, maybe they have an opportunity to go deep into the playoffs. Because as you can see with the Clippers, you see they look so stable with their hires. With Jerry West, Lawrence Frank in the front office. They just brought in Ty Lue to back up Doc Rivers. It's just like they have a plan and an agenda for every move that they make. There's just too many questions with what the Lakers are doing right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and I kind of agree with that to a certain extent because, like you said, the Clippers have a great brand, Jerry West, Doc Rivers, Lawrence Frank. And Lakers have Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, Linda Rambis. But for me, I have faith in the front office tremendously. not because she took a picture of me. A Laker fans that, and they say, "Oh, you're only saying that because you took a picture." No, she's a very smart. But very smart, which she does. Very, very business-like. Is very passionate about her Lakers, trying to get back winning championships, just like her father.
Well, I remember saying something in the comment section. I mean, Laker fans can be brutal at times. Something that I've learned over the past year, right, covering the team for Fansided.com, Lake Show Life. But you can't be stupid and run a $4 billion company. That just doesn't happen. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So this is obviously a very smart lady. But it's going to be very important for her to get this franchise turned around and get them into the playoffs. I mean, the problem with the Lakers right now is ever since Dr. Jerry Buss died, may he rest in peace, and he passed on, the Lakers have been on a downward spiral ever since. And that's where the problem is. They have got to get to the playoffs. Last year, it was believed that they might have turned the corner. Were they going to win the title last year? No, they weren't going to. They weren't good enough. Everybody understood that. But there's no reason why this team shouldn't have been in the playoffs last year. A 37-45 record last year is just not acceptable. I mean, people saying LeBron James missed 17 games last year. I mean, okay, that's fine. But the games that he did play in, the Lakers were under 500. So, and the defense was not, was just, let's just call it what it is. It was terrible. So this year is the year. They blew up the squad. They mortgaged their future, gambling, saying, hey, we're gonna trade Lonzo Ball. We're gonna trade Brandon Ingram. We're gonna trade Josh Hart. We're gonna trade the first round pick. We're gonna bring Anthony Davis into the fold, team him up with LeBron James, and say, hey, and then fill out the roster. They made a run for Kawhi Leonard. Didn't work out. Fine, but they fill out the roster with capable veterans. I mean, I think they took a major hit with DeMarcus Cousins. Shout out to him because that's one of the worst. It's just amazing. It's just amazing how his career how his body has just failed him in the last couple of 18, 19 months. It's just really, I really hope we help speedy recovery to him. But I think Rob Pelinka did a good job of getting a backup plan for Kawhi Leonard not signing. So they're going to have to make this run, and it's going to have to be a strong run as well, Jonathan. It can't be you make it to the playoffs and you lose in the first round. It can't be losing in the conference semis. They're going to have to make it to the conference finals. And if they make it to the conference finals, they can't go to the Clippers, play the Clippers, and then lose. And then the Clippers go to the finals. It can't be that way. They're going to have to win. I mean, there's a lot of expectations on this team, and based on what LeBron got what he wanted. I mean, the Lakers got what they wanted. Okay, watch what you wish for. Now we get to see what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, this franchise is all about winning in the sense of we have a history of winning, so our expectations are through the roof. I know for us fans, we have to understand that if we do not win a championship this year, it's a complete failure. Let me ask you this, Ron. If LeBron does not win a ring in his time in LA, do you think that would be a big failure on LeBron's career?
Yes. Yes, it will. Because, see, you just said it. The Los Angeles Lakers are about chips with dip. They got 16 titles. They want 17.
Yep.
Icons play for the Los Angeles Lakers. We can go all the way back to the Mikan days, the first superstar of the NBA. Kareem, Shaq, Wilt, Jerry West, Gail Goodrich. I mean, the list goes on and on. Kobe, Shaq, Magic, Kareem. All of these players won championships. The only superstar that did not win a championship was Elgin Baylor. And even then, he retired the year in the preseason, the year before they won the title. So when they won the 69 games and had that long winning streak, I think it was 33 games. So they have to, if this will be a stain If he doesn't get this done, will it mess up his entire legacy and his entire career? No. But he will be remembered for two things on his resume that he's going to regret. One, the decision when he went down to Miami, didn't work out. But if he goes to LA and does not win a title, it's going to be something that's going to haunt him going forward. That I can say.
Yeah, that's truly valid, man, because like you said, Elgin Baylor was the only Laker that didn't win a championship, and two Lakers. Elgin Baylor was there back in the day, and if LeBron doesn't win the ring in LA, it could be a complete failure on his career, and that would be a complete failure on the Lakers as well. Not just
absolutely,
the Lakers.
Absolutely, because you got to understand something. Dr. Jerry Buss set the blueprint for not only excellence of the Los Angeles Lakers, but entertainment with Magic Johnson and they put Showtime together. Pat Riley with the slick back hair. I remember Byron Scott on the wing dunking on people. Michael Cooper with the Cooper Loop. I mean Kareem with the sky hook. James Worthy, big game James. Big Shot Bob hitting those last second threes to sink Sacramento Kings and whatnot and save the series. Yep. Plays like that, and I mean in the big moments. That's what the Lakers are all about. I mean, this is the most storied franchise, possibly right next to the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Yankees in all of professional sports, and then you can throw Boston in there too. Yeah. Between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they saved NBA basketball. So the Lakers are not going to accept, at least the fan base, the true fans. I'm not talking about the casual. I'm talking about true fans are not going to accept LeBron James coming in on a max deal and then just falling apart. And also setting the franchise back 4 to 5 years extra if things fall apart and Anthony Davis, let's just say he does go to New York or go to Chicago or something like that, where the Lakers are bare. And I mean, when I say bare, they are really stuck. They're going to be in a real quandary. So they're going to have to, these next 2 years is going to set this franchise up for the next 15 years.
Yeah. For me, man, to be honest, if LeBron doesn't win the ring in LA, I will be very angry because I used to keep it 100. I used to criticize LeBron, like those people that were undisputed and stuff like that. But I got respect. Showed me my respect when he came back down 3-1, and play in Los Angeles. In the sense of you have to produce. You don't produce championships. Ran out of LA. So for us as fans, we have to. LeBron is great what he does, and he'll get us to ring. I promise you, the Lakers will at least win one ring. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Because see, I think the reason why I remember telling you this before we got started when you asked me on, I said I need to be honest. No, because LeBron, because LeBron James is in a peculiar spot right now because he's going into his 17th year in the league. Mm-hmm. He's obviously the most powerful and influential player in the NBA right now and maybe in history. We just saw what happened with the Rich Paul rule and that NCAA criteria. That's how powerful this guy is. But
can you explain to what that Rich Paul rule was about?
Yes. NCAA criteria at the time was you had all NBA agents had to have a college degree. They were just changing some things down, a lot of fees. You got to take some tests. And you had to pay annual fees to be an agent to represent future college players. As we know, Rich Paul is not does not have a college degree, even though he does have an honorary degree with Cleveland State. I don't know if that counts or whatever, but he does have an honorary degree. But he does not have a degree. But obviously, it looked fishy because Rich Paul is probably the most powerful and right now most decorated agent in the NBA. I mean, look who he's representing, and listen, it ain't because LeBron James. He's LeBron James's friend. He just signed Draymond Green to $100 million. He signed Ben Simmons to $170 million deal. Eric Bledsoe, $70 million. The list goes on and on. So this guy has a cachet of superstars that he represents. So obviously this guy is very, very intelligent. He knows how to handle his business, and you can just throw Anthony Davis in the business. He's gonna get a max deal as well. So the money that he is taking care of, in the NBA is undisputed. Mm-hmm. So what happened was, with him representing Darius Baisley, got him that 1 year, got him that $1 million internship with incentives up to $14 million with New Balance. He set a precedent, and this is the key. He set a precedent for future basketball, for future blue chip high school players. They don't have to go to college. They don't have to deal with the one and dones. They don't have to deal with the argument of I should be paid to play basketball. So they can forego that. There's a different. Not only can they go to overseas now, they can have internships. So he found a precedent for future NCAA player, for future high school players that want to either want to skip college altogether. And guess what? After the internship is over for that 1 year, what do? You go into the NBA draft. That would cost. Let's just say Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish was under Rich Paul, and they just said, look here, we're going to just stay out, we're going to train, we're going to intern at let's just say Nike or something like that. For example, look at the amount of money that would be lost by the NCAA. We're talking billions. We're talking billions, and that's just that pad. We're just talking about last year. I mean, Duke's television ratings were, for the most part, higher than the entire NBA ratings. Mm-hmm. So look at all of the potential money, not just from that situation. We're talking about future monies that could be lost by the NCAA. So what do? They try to put up this rule with all of these things that you have to do, which includes finances, paying a lot of money to pay for the testing and everything, with all that stuff. So basically, you're trying to price out future Rich Pauls, and that's what the Rich Paul thing is. And it didn't work because with LeBron James and his 43 million followers, you put that out. It's a PR nightmare for the NCAA. Think of it this way. LeBron James has 43 million followers. That's just him by himself. ESPN has 39 million. So the man has about 4 million more followers than the worldwide leader of sports. That's power. That's just Twitter. We ain't even got the Instagram.
But is that true though? Like, a lot of these athletes have people tweet their stuff out from, or do a lot of these athletes have their own individual?
Say again, I didn't hear you.
I said, do a lot of these athletes really be on Twitter, or do they have like a representative tweet stuff out for them, post their stuff to promote their Twitter stuff, or do they do their Twitter individually by themselves?
Funny you would ask about that, because I was at the National Association of Black Journalists conference in Miami, Florida, and I was talking to John Miller, senior editor of ESPN The Undefeated. We had the same conversation. When they have these, some do. They have people to filter what is out on social media. So he has a group of people that says, hey, we're going to take a look at what you got to say, what you got on your mind, or whatever the case may be, and go ahead and tweet your stuff. I'm not sure about everybody, but according to John Miller in our conversation, which makes a lot of sense to me, because you don't want to, you don't want to have emotional tweets that will get you in trouble, that'll bite you down the line. So I'm assuming that he's absolutely right, that they do have people that actually monitor what he says and controls the narrative of what he wants to get, of the message that he wants to get across. Because I think what really irritates a lot of fans, in a sense, is that LeBron James likes to control the narrative and the message of what he wants to get out. I mean, the David Griffin thing was a perfect example.
Yeah, that was a perfect example. But for me, do you think LeBron is hearing all the noise that Skip Bayless is talking about him and everybody in the social media world? Does he see that, or does he see the grapevine?
Oh, I believe he knows. See, he's too powerful not to know. And also, you got to understand something, like, he's the face of the league. And I don't look at things like, hey, you just turn on the television and you look at the basketball game. There's more to it than that. There's billions of this is $1 billion business. Yeah, 30 franchises, and let's just say that money got lost last year. Okay,
got LeBron.
Yes, money got lost when he went out. I mean, there's a reason why they changed the scheduling.
They're trying to make LeBron get better, not get better, stay healthy, so he can be in the playoffs. Because to be honest, I barely watched the playoffs. I already know. I thought Golden State was going to win, but Toronto won it. Congrats to you. But for me, LeBron, like you said, powerful, man, very powerful. Do you think LeBron would talk back to Skip Bayless and stuff if the Lakers won championship this year?
No, he won't. He won't. And you got to understand something else too, because I've been in the media for 25 years. Television, radio, print, doing this, what I'm doing now, content creation business. The media knows LeBron and the Lakers bring eyes to the television sets, ears to the radio, to podcasts. Yep. I mean, you may be a fan, but there's plenty of others. There are plenty of others that just know that they want to write for the Lakers. And a lot of times, a lot of the narratives that they put out on social media, I mean, you've seen them. They say these wild things like who's the GOAT and who's the best player. Is it Michael Jordan or LeBron, or is it Kobe or LeBron, or whatever the case may be? Because the man commands that much attention.
Yeah, he does. When that whole Anthony Davis trade rumors were going around, Lakers were in the news every day. You can think about Magic Johnson, the Rob Pelinka thing. To be honest, that whole situation, I feel like they in-house and had Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka behind the scenes 101. They had Magic Johnson on there airing that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know something? I think Magic Johnson kind of got a bad rap in a sense, because we don't know. Because to be totally honest, when the trade deadline went through, I knew the man wasn't going anywhere. Okay, that's to be clear on that. I knew that from the gate. I had an insider down in New Orleans. We collaborated on some things, and he told me, "Listen, he ain't going anywhere. Don't even worry about it." It might have came from Dell Dempsey's side. We don't know. I mean, the thing is, we'll never, as fans, we'll never really know what's going on behind the scenes unless you are there, in a sense. But I think Magic Johnson's got a bad rap as being president of basketball operations, because you got to understand something. When that man showed up and said, "I'll take over," number one, he said this: "I'm not going to be there every day." He said, "I'll come in, I will help you out, I'll be president of basketball operations, but I'm not going to do this every single day. I'm not going to be there." He said that on tape, on Spectrum. He said that in LA Spectrum News. He said, "I'm not going to be here every day. I'm a businessman." He is. He's a billionaire. He got plenty of businesses all over the world. So we know he's not going to be in. He got businesses to run. But in between all of that, the Lakers salary cap was a mess. You had Timothy Mozgov on the books. You had Luol Deng on the books, and you had a whole bunch of bad contracts. The man got rid of all of them. You can't sign LeBron James when you're over the salary cap, and you ain't got no chance to move Luol Deng or Timothy Mozgov. you're not going to get Anthony Davis if he doesn't clear out these contracts. So that's what gets looked over in all that. People get caught up in the Anthony Davis saga. Guess what? Anthony Davis still got here.
Yeah, that's true.
But you got to clear those books first. The man put the groundwork in, and he put the dirty work in to set up the foundation for what you have right now, to have your two superstars. That's all he said he was going to do. He said, listen, I'm going to get in here. We're going to get you two superstars. He did that. So what's the problem? I mean, are there things that he did not know, that he made some missteps on with this quote unquote tampering and whatever the case may be? Sure. But who doesn't tamper? A lot of times, I mean, one of the major criticisms of Mitch Kupchak before he got fired was he needs to catch up with, because he did things by the book. He wouldn't wait till 12:01 when free agency started, while the other teams started early. That was one of the criticisms. So you're gonna, as for Laker fans, you're gonna have to pick a side. Do you want this man to go by the rules like Mitch Kupchak did and miss out on all those free agents that you missed out on? Carmelo Anthony back in the day, LaMarcus Aldridge and others? Or do you want I want to use a NASCAR term, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I mean, the man got you your stars. Some of these people really need to back up off them a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree. 100, I bashed Matt because he went on the air, told about the whole Rob Pelinka thing, saying he wasn't in the office. And what you said was valid and a great point, man. For Magic Johnson, why did he didn't tell Jeannie he was leaving? How can we step down? You know what I mean? Like, it could have been like, hey, Jeannie, I'm stepping down. What do you do? Instead of just doing it right there. And you'd be blindsided. And why didn't she just tell me? You know what I mean?
Honestly, that's something you're going to ask Magic Johnson. Ask Magic Johnson, the man. I don't know. All I remember is it was game 82, and those games are late. So with me being on the East Coast, I usually lay down, relax, chill out, because I have to watch the game and do the post game. All I remember is my mom calling, "Hey, he on the fight. Magic, get ready. He quitting. He resigned." And I'm going, what? Go to NBA TV, and he's talking about this. But I take him at face value, and he probably said he didn't want Jenny Buss to talk him out of it. Maybe he was tired, maybe, something, and everything he said on First Take, I believe him. I mean, why does he have to lie? I mean, the guy makes more money last month than he did in his salary with the LA Lakers being president of basketball operations. That is, if he even took the money. So I believe that, something, this is what he wanted. He got frustrated. He woke up one morning. I mean, the dude, he just turned 60 years old. When you're at that age, when you get to be that age, you ain't trying to stress yourself out over no unnecessary stuff. He said, I want to go back to living my life. Guess what he's doing? He's going back to living his life.
Mm-hmm. Because I remember Ben Simmons wanted to work out with Magic Johnson, and Magic Johnson was willing to do it, but the NBA stepped in, had a little tampering issues. Like, Magic Johnson basically stepped down so he could start working out with players. True, even though he tried to recruit Kawhi Leonard, and a lot of people said that the Magic Johnson talking about what happened in the Kawhi meeting, that was back all of it. Kawhi's mind was going to Clippers the whole time. The whole entire time it was.
Yes, and I remember telling somebody this, because, I mean, first things first. Anybody that said they knew what Kawhi Leonard was going to do was lying, because didn't nobody know. Now, God bless. Look, you got to give ESPN a ton of credit, because I saw a lot of things, the comparisons of ESPN, and I'm not gonna mention any names on here and whatnot, but out of respect, but some members of Fox Sports 1, and they had these percentages of, hey man, he leaning toward the Lakers, Clippers third, Toronto, whatever the case may be. Now Jalen Rose, God bless him, said 99% Toronto, and people used to ask me this all the time. But I just broke it down like this. If he stays in Toronto, them taxes ain't no joke. You paying two sets of taxes. You paying American taxes and you paying Canadian taxes. Now, if he wants to run it back, fine. But that was a problem. I knew that had a lot to do with it. And the man just wanted to go home. Okay, let's just be clear on this. But I knew one thing. If he wanted to get a quick title, he wanted to rest his body, you know what I'm saying, and add 2-3 years that he lost in San Antonio, getting his body back together while winning 3-4 championships in a row. You go to the Lakers. But with the Clippers, you got Steve Ballmer and you got Jerry West. These are businessmen. Yeah. Listen, I don't care who you are. I don't care this when it comes down to business. Those guys, Jerry West is probably the greatest executive alive. And the only one that's close to sticking with him is Red Auerbach, and he passed on. Those two executives, they're the best in the business. And Bob Myers is number 3 on my list.
Yeah. For me, I look at it like he didn't want to play with LeBron, and I know he picked the Clippers over Lakers. Now it's a quote unquote rivalry. As Clipper Darrow said, it's a rivalry. I mean, that Clipper Lakers is not a rivalry to the playoffs. Until they beat us in the playoffs, so we beat them. We're fighting physicality. Until then, it's not a rivalry to me yet.
No, they're not. No, they're not. But you know something? Kawhi Leonard did the NBA a favor. LA has now taken over as the mecca of basketball. Everybody should be. If you're a basketball fan, and I'm a basketball fan, I'm not no Lakers fan, and I don't ever talk with rose-colored glasses. But for basketball and for the business of basketball, you have to enjoy. This is great. You get to see 2 great players on the Clippers side in LA. And then you get to see 2 great players with the Lakers. Same building. And they're the top 2 contenders in Vegas for winning the world title. I mean, they took over from New York as the mecca of basketball. This is great. Now competition is back in the NBA. I know the teaming up and everything and these super teams and whatnot, but did you really enjoy watching Golden State beat the brakes off of everybody every single year?
No, it was predictable.
It was too predictable. Now, everybody is saying the same thing. Oh, Lord, I can't wait till October. Can't October just get here soon enough? You hadn't heard that in years. And Kawhi brought that back. And Paul George, and listen, to be totally honest with you, LeBron James got some power, but now you're starting to see some like mafia type power with Kawhi Leonard too, because the shock was not getting Kawhi Leonard into a Clippers uniform. It was the trade for Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder was what the shock was for everybody that set shockwaves around the NBA. But right now, it's just this is a wonderful thing. And listen, let Clipper Darrell enjoy his moment, because you know something. If you've been a fan for 15, if you were a fan back in the days of Ron Harper, when Doc Rivers was the point guard of the LA Clippers back then, if you were a fan back then, let the Clipper fans be excited.
Okay.
But I tell you this, if they win this year and they start winning and they get 2 or 3 in a row, and that's possible because the way Jerry West does it, he always has a plan 4 or 5 years ahead of making moves, and you know he's not going to change. He's not going to stop making moves, and they still got a roster spot. The Lakers want Iguodala, but so do the Clippers. So if they keep making moves and they keep getting these veteran players and they keep building their franchise for the future while they're winning, because they got to keep Kawhi and Paul George happy. 2 or 3, we got a ball game here, because you can't get to 16 without getting your first.
Yeah, I totally agree. I always tell Clipper Darrell, win championships, then be in the conversation. You can praise about having these players, these Kawhis, the Paul George, or sell Lou Williams. And if you don't produce, then it's gonna be a waste of time. For me, Laker team, like I keep saying, championship or bust for me, man. If we don't win this year, it's gonna be complete failure. The Anthony Davis thing this year will be complete failure because we threw everything to New Orleans. Like you said, Lonzo Ball, Brandon, Josh Hart, picks, and we, like you said, man, we were taking a gamble, or a big gamble. You know what I mean? We did it with Dwight Howard, and it didn't work out. So speaking of Dwight Howard, you think the Lakers are gonna sign Dwight Howard?
Jonathan, I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. I have no clue, but I will say this: Dwight Howard is the best option for the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one, he's the best. He's the most athletic guy that on that bunch. You're not gonna get Joakim Noah, and if he does, I will be in a complete in state of shock. And here's why: Joakim Noah was in New York, right? Didn't work out in New York, right?
Yeah.
Who was there? Was Kurt Rambis the associate head coach in New York at the time under Jeff Hornacek?
Yes, he was.
Who was the president that gave him that 4-year, $72 million albatross contract? Phil Jackson, right?
Yeah, Phil Jackson.
They just happen to be in the front office now, right?
Yes.
So I don't see it. So does that make any sense for Joakim Noah to come to an LA uniform the way he blew up the place up in New York?
No, it'd be very bad vibes and very bad chemistry.
Absolutely, and it would be worse than the Dwight Howard thing. Now let me preface this: I thoroughly understand why Laker fans are angry, and I mean they are very upset with this dude. I wrote an article about him, and I had to be very, very clear on the nice things what he could bring to the Lakers. I had to be very clear because it was something that really, it just gets under Laker fans' craw. Look at it this way. Sign him to a 1-year deal. Unguaranteed. You don't have to give him a guaranteed deal. Michael Beasley, former Laker last year, he's in Detroit right now, right? 1 year, $2.6 million, but it's non-guaranteed. Give Dwight Howard a non-guaranteed contract. He'll sign it. You want to know why? Because don't nobody else want him. This is the last chance for romance for Dwight Howard in the National Basketball Association. He done burned enough bridges, and he knows it. And he has a chance to win a title. And he can actually help out this organization. You tell him this. You sit him down and you say, hey, this is your last chance. We saw how it happened last night. We're willing to let bygones be bygones. You're going to back up JaVale McGee. You're going to back him up. Your job is to rim protect. Your job is to help Anthony Davis on the weak side defense, blocking shots. You run the floor. You run out and you're on the pick and roll. You're the lob guy for the slam dunks. You're going to have plenty of chances to do it because LeBron James is going to have command a double team, and Anthony Davis is going to command a double team. Plus, you're going to take the pounding after JaVale sits down, so Anthony Davis can does not have to deal with all that extra wear and tear during the season. That is your job. Are you cool with that? He's going to say yes because he always says yes. Then guess what? It's non-guaranteed. So as soon as he starts acting up, what do? Drop him.
Cut him.
You drop him, you ain't got to pay him a dime. Okay, let's go to December 15th. You can hold him there. December 15th, he's a great trade sweetener. In other words, you need something to make the salaries work. You throw his contract in there. You trade him because you know any team that wants to cut bait, go ahead and they'll waive him. He's out of the league. But if he's motivated and he's scared to death that he doesn't want to leave LA, maybe he plays well. And if he does play well, you can get it. He can win about 10 to maybe 15 games for you based off of the energy and the athletic ability of running the opposing center to death.
Yeah, Dwight Howard would be really great on the Lakers. Here's the thing, though. Everybody says, he plays too much. He laughs too much. Well, I get he plays too much. But remember how Kobe called him soft?
Yes.
Do you think it was his game that was soft or his mindset at the time?
We got to understand something. Kobe Bryant is a killer.
Yeah, he is.
Let's just that's personality. And listen, he's going into a different situation. I don't understand why everybody believes that Dwight Howard is going to have the same situation he had back in 2012, 2013. See, he was supposed to be the face of the franchise. He was supposed to take it over when Kobe Bryant retired. He's not capable of doing that. He couldn't do it in Orlando. He couldn't do it in LA. He couldn't do it in Houston, Charlotte, Atlanta. Brooklyn didn't even want to deal with him, and Memphis is not going to deal with him. My point, and in Washington, he is now the sixth or seventh option. He is a stop plug guy. You pay him, he's going to play 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. Plus, you got veterans that's going to say, "Hey, we ain't dealing with all that." And these are things that you talk about in the pregame meeting before you sign him. We talk about all that stuff. You can have LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the meeting with you, and say, "This is your last chance. This is what you're going to do. Do you want to do it or not?" Simple and basic. Now, I'm going to be clear because I keep hearing Laker fans say the same thing over and again. We want Kenneth Faried. Why? Kenneth Faried is 6'8". He does not defend very well. If he defended well, Denver wouldn't have been ready. He wouldn't have been the 15th man on the Denver bench. When they traded him to Brooklyn, he wouldn't have been the 15th guy on the Brooklyn bench. And then they say, well, he did well in the Mike D'Antoni system. Jonathan, you and I could score about 5 or 6 points in Mike D'Antoni's system. We ain't got to play defense.
Yeah, I agree. Good one.
So you're gonna your stats are going to be padded. And you ever notice something? Houston didn't pick him up. You don't see the red flags there. So Dwight Howard is the guy. I mean, look, he's 6'10", 6'11". He's still athletic. He's not muscle bound like he used to be. For some reason, he's skinny. But guess what? Everybody talks about Kawhi Leonard not only playing 9 games prior to this season. Guess what? He played 9 games. He had back surgery, dealt with that pectorals, that gluteus muscle, or whatever the case may be. And we got to remember something else too. When he played with the Lakers, okay, Kobe called him soft, but he led the league in rebounding. Can't be soft leading the league in rebounding.
Yeah, Dwight Howard, like I say on my YouTube videos, man, on my podcast, Dwight Howard's the best option. He brings great grind, in my opinion. I love when he blocks shots, and that's what we need to win a championship this year. Rebounding, blocking shots. You know what I mean? So for me, like you said, I agree with you on the non-guarantee contract, but let me throw a name out there that I've been researching. What about Zach Randolph?
Zebo? No. Too long. He's been out of the league too long. He's been out the league too long, and this.
He got cut last year.
He's been out the league too long. He's been out the league too long, and you got and look, just because he got cut, look, he didn't play at all in Sacramento. Now he was under contract, but they sent him home. Then they traded him to Dallas. He never put on a uniform, so right now his contract, he's just a cardboard box in a sense. He's just a contract in the computer system. Just because he's still in the league under contract, they just own his rights. My thing with Zebo is this. You remember when he was in Memphis and they had to change the game, the grind, the grit and grind system that they have. He's a low post player, but right now today's NBA doesn't fit for him. And you got to understand something else. If he's down in low post, it messes up the lanes for LeBron James. It just doesn't fit. Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm a Zebo fan. I love me some Zach Randolph. Tough dude, love that guy. But he's been out the league too long, and it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, here's the thing about the Lakers. I heard on Jump today, Ramon Sherman said the Lakers are going to take the time, the free agents, and if we should sign Dwight Howard, maybe, or let's wait for Iguodala, I'm wait for it. So right now we have. I'm excited for the season. But Ron, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Give out your social media to follow you.
Okay, at sports SPORT World Order. You can email me at ronaldagers@yahoo.com. I always answer anyone's questions. Sport on Twitter. I'll say it again, at SPORT World Order. I answer everything. You may have seen my tweets a lot. And look for my work for lakeshowlife.com. I always write stuff like that. I've recently expanded my NBA coverage to on fansided.com to hoopshabit.com. I haven't written anything yet, but I'm getting my stuff into my computer system. So I'll be writing for a couple of sites under fansided.com this NBA season. One for the Lakers and various stories around the NBA.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on and talk to you.
All right, thanks, man.